Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to All Praise Picks. Today we're looking at the MLB. We have the Miami Marlins playing against the Philadelphia Phillies in Philadelphia on June 28th, 2024. Currently, the Marlins are 29 and 52, which is fifth place in the NL East, and the Phillies are 53 and 28, which is first place in the NL East. So this is a divisional matchup for them, and the Phillies have been playing much better than the Marlins. And in looking at this game, I do lean towards the Phillies. The Phillies did have a tough loss in their last game versus Miami in Philadelphia yesterday. I believe that Philly were up by a decent amount of runs, and then Miami ended up coming back in the seventh inning to win the game, 7-4. And I'm definitely leaning towards the Phillies in this one. I got four parlays for you guys on BetMGM. As always, I'll break down the lines, give you my thoughts, and hopefully if you tap in, we can all win. So these are the first two parlays that I have, and I've grouped the two parlays based off of the legs that I have in them. So these two parlays, the main legs in them are Chris Sanchez, who's the starting pitcher for the Phillies, to have more strikeouts than Kyle Tyler, who's the starting pitcher for the Marlins. Looking at Sanchez's numbers on the season, he's a left-handed pitcher who is 5-3 in his starts with a 2.67 ERA and a 3.60 expected ERA, and his WHIP is at 1.28. Tyler, on the other hand, right-handed pitcher who has only pitched 6 innings on the season, and his ERA is at 4.5, and his expected ERA is at 3.32 with a 1.17 WHIP. But with only 6 innings pitched and only 3 strikeouts, I think that the Phillies should be able to get to him. And I think that Christopher Sanchez has a good chance of having more strikeouts than Tyler after they're concluded with their innings pitched. I will note that Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber will not play in this game due to injury, but I do think that Philly has a great overall lefty batting team, and Tyler has shown that he can struggle against lefty batters on the season, and Philly should be able to get to him overall even without Harper and Schwarber in this game. I also have on the left side parlay with that plus 120, I have the Phillies at plus 1.5 for the full game run line spread and plus 2.5 for the first 5 innings. I do think that Philly has a good chance of leading up to the first 5 innings, and I do think that they will bounce back and win this game. The last leg of the parlay on the left side is for Chris Sanchez to have fewer bases. So looking at his numbers, he's been a pretty good ground ball pitcher, one of the best actually in the MLB, which just means that there's a low likelihood of base hits and home runs especially, because if a ground ball goes to the shortstop or is within the field of play, the likelihood of the ball getting to the first base is a lot higher than the batter. So I just think that he has a good chance of having fewer bases, even though in the season he is giving up a few more hits per 9 innings than Tyler. Looking at Tyler's numbers overall, with only 6 innings pitched, I think that Sanchez has been a much better pitcher over his 84 innings totals pitch, and I think he has a good chance of having more strikeouts and fewer bases. And that parlay on the left side is at plus 120, and then on the right side, the parlay is at plus 230, and it's mainly just having the total number of innings in the first 5 at under 6.5 that really pushes this parlay up. I don't think that the Marlins have a good chance of really scoring that much in this game, and I think having the total for the first 5 innings at under 6.5 is really is a good bet, because if the Marlins can't score, I don't really see that the Phillies would put up more than 4 runs in the first 5 innings. And if they do so, I think that Tyler will likely be taken out of the game within the 3rd or 4th inning. And I think that just favors a low total score in the first 5 innings overall. But I also took the total score to go under 11.5 for the game. In yesterday's game, it was 7-4, and that total would have been 11. But honestly, I didn't really expect the Marlins to score that many runs. And I think that the Phillies overall, they play pretty good baseball, but without Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber in this game, 2 of their better hitters, especially against right-handed pitchers, I think that the total will likely go under in this game as well. Looking over the parlay on the right side, I also have Christopher Sanchez to have fewer home runs, and that goes towards what I was saying with him being a great ground ball pitcher. It's just a low likelihood of home runs because the ball just isn't hit in the air as much as it normally is for an average MLB pitcher. But at plus 230, if you bet 1 unit on that parlay, it's a 230% return on your investment, which is, I guess, more than triple, especially if the parlay hits. As you can see, the total potential payout is $3.30 for a $100 one unit bet. But as always, I would just advise you guys to have bankroll consciousness and an overall understanding of your finances when deciding to place these bets. And these are the last two parlays that I have at plus 175 and plus 275. So starting with the parlay on the left side at plus 175, I have the same run lines for the full game and first 5 innings for the Phillies at plus 1.5 for the full game and plus 2.5 for the first 5 innings. But I also have Christopher Sanchez to have less than 1.5 earned runs in the innings that he's pitched. Essentially what that means is that he does not give up more than 2 earned runs, and that excludes errors that could happen from the Phillies or say like a stolen home plate, which is very unlikely to happen, but it just gives him a better number overall. And I just think that with the Marlins overall just struggling on the road and Sanchez playing decently well, especially with his 2.67 ERA and his 3.60 expected ERA is actually lower than the MLB average. So I think that he should have a pretty good game in this one and has a pretty good matchup against a Miami team that doesn't really hit the ball that well. So I think that he has a good chance of getting under 1.5 total earned runs for the innings that he's pitched. And I also included the full game to go under 11.5. As I mentioned before, I think while the Phillies have a much better chance of scoring in this game, in my opinion, I don't think that the total will go over 12 total runs in the game. So that's at plus 175. As we take a look at the parlay on the right side at plus 275, it also includes Sanchez to have under 1.5 earned runs in the innings that he's pitched, but also fewer bases given up. And that mainly is just going towards, the game theory that with him being a great ground ball pitcher, he should give up fewer bases overall, especially if the Phillies are able to put up a few runs in this game. But on the season, Sanchez has a much higher K percentage than Tyler. His K rate is at 20.2%, and Tyler's is at 12.5%. And Sanchez also has a lower walk rate at 6.9%, and Tyler's is at 12.5% as well. So that just means that Sanchez on the season, he strikes out more batters and walks less batters overall than Tyler has. And while Tyler has only 6 innings pitched on the season, I think that playing against the Phillies lineup that is one of the greater hitting lineups in terms of batting averages and home runs on the season will be much more difficult for Tyler than Sanchez's lineup is against the Miami Marlins that has been a worse hitting team overall. But on the parlay on the left, I also have the total to go over 4 runs, and I'm really just banking on the Phillies to be able to score at least 3 runs and maybe the Marlins to score 1 run. I do think this will be a lower scoring game overall, but I took the total to go over 4 because even if this is a 3-2 win by the Phillies or a 4-0 win by the Phillies, they would still go over the total of 4 runs. So those are the last 2 parlays that I have at plus 175. If you bet 1 unit, you'll have a 175% return on your investment. And at plus 275, that'll be a 275% return on your investment. And I put 1 unit each on these parlays just because I feel confident in the Phillies being able to bounce back after their unexpected loss versus the Marlins at home yesterday. But as always, guys, I just advise you guys to have financial consciousness and an overall understanding of your bankroll when deciding to make these bets. But appreciate you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more WNBA and MLB parlays coming up today as well as on the weekend. And until next time, peace out.